Welcome back to another episode of Off Centered. We took a week off because the boys were down or up at New York Comic Con, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about how the hobby's completely falling apart. I've been watching Neo's videos here over the last week, and he's talked about the corporatization of the hobby, so we'll dive into that. And as usual, we will dive into the chat. Boys, how are we doing?
I have exciting news.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to start with the news or you want to wait?
No, I'm just going to lay it right out. This
Okay.
is the last Off Center for the next 6 months that I will not be able to watch a Cavs game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. NBA basketball starting up.
I'm gonna get a hand puppet for Neo, and I'll talk as Neo.
What does
on Tuesday? We were less than a week away.
Oh,
the Cavs are the greatest regular season team of the last 2 years.
Damn straight. Just don't watch playoff games.
What's up, Steve?
I was going to say is what are some of the key storylines going into this year's NBA season?
Raise the flag.
That's not what we're talking about first, so I don't know.
I mean, rookies, Cooper Flag. What about like any big free agent moves? Anybody coming back from injury? Is Wemby coming back?
Yeah, Wemby's back. He's full go. I guess he's looked like an animal all preseason.
Is that true? Yeah, I was actually curious about Wemby.
Yeah, no, I think he's tearing it up this preseason. He looks bigger, stronger.
As long as he's healthy, he's going to be one of the best players in the NBA his entire career.
And who's favored this year? Who are some of the favorites?
Shay's team.
Thunder again.
The Thunder again. Boring. We got Ryan McClanahan in the house. Yes, not the greatest weekend of football. I was in the Superdome. I watched my team in person fall to 1-5. But the highlight was I did get on the field before the game. We did get hooked up by the Saints. Brass did give us on the field. So that was really cool. Never done that before. And really for my youngest son, he absolutely lost his mind. Being that close to the players. And one thing that stood out, I talked about in today's video with Leighton Sheldon, the size of Chase Young, one of our starting defensive ends. When you see this guy up close, how the hell are you not getting to the quarterback, man? Like, this dude is massive. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't get it. I understand offensive linemen are big. I get it. And they block, blah, 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 whatever. But this dude has all the physical gifts, and he cannot get to the quarterback to save his life. So the Saints are 1-5. I'm looking to see who is a potential top 3 pick for us next year. We're just in full rebuild mode with Did the Dolphins win, Steve? Or what's going on with the Dolphins?
No, I don't think they won. Who'd they play? I don't even remember.
They lost.
They played the Chargers. They lost to the Chargers.
Lost.
Game-ending field goal. I think they lost by a point or two. That's like 3 or 4 games now they've lost this year by like a field goal at the end. So they're playing competitive. They're just not winning.
Yep.
I was able to beat Dustin in fantasy football this past week.
Son of a bitch. I swear.
Robinson for like 40 points.
Yeah, that was the plot twist. So literally I'm up by 30 or 25. I think I'm up by 30. And all Ham's got left is fucking Bijan Robinson. And Bijan has the game of his life, of course. And that's really been kind of the story of my fantasy football team this year. Just can't seem to put him away. There's always just one guy left.
Mine is I've lost my 2 best players in almost every league that I've been in. CeeDee Lamb and Bucky Irvin. You might hear some noises. We just had a parade go through town.
The motorcycle gang, Hell's Angels.
It was the city Halloween. It's the city Halloween parade, and it's been going on ever since I was a kid growing up in this area. And the parade just ended. I was actually there. It just ended like 30 minutes ago. So this is probably a lot of the vehicles that were in the parade starting to disperse, like some of the big trucks and cars.
Full speed.
Whoever, because the parade passes my house fairly early, and it still has to go all the way through the center of town. So as I'm sitting, the parade might still actually be going on for some of it.
Mark Sipe in the house asking if Chantilly's worth a 7-hour drive. It's worth a 4-hour drive for me. 7 hours is pushing it, Mark. I don't know.
Someone that drove about 7 hours to get to that show, I would say no.
Okay.
It depends on what else.
Now, that being said, if you could loop it into other stuff, if you're like, I want to go do a DC thing one day, go to the show one day, then sure. But if you're just going for the show, I don't think so.
Yeah, you can go to this. So you can head into DC, which isn't too far, and do a DC Smithsonian type day, or you can go to there's two Air and Space museums. One of them is actually in Chantilly, and they have a space shuttle in there. If you have time, go and check that out. They have a real live space shuttle in there. I think it's the Space Shuttle Discovery or something. That's been
Yeah,
retired.
that place is cool. We did go there.
It's a super cool, and you're also not far from Skyline Drive, which is in the Appalachian Mountains over here. We can drive along the mountain. It's in Shenandoah National Park. You can get there from Chantilly fairly quickly. So if you want to make a couple days out and do some nature shit, you can do that. Or if you want to do DC, you can do that. But if you're just going for the show strictly, I would probably say 7 hours. I would, if I had 7 hours to drive to go do something somewhere else, I would.
There you have it.
Oh yeah, that's Ziggy points out in my chat because he's blocked everyone else's. I don't know that all that stuff's open because of the government
I
shutdown.
blocked on mine.
You can still go to the national park though.
You got to check. Some of them have been having to close, like have different restrictions and stuff.
I mean, you might not be able to go to the campgrounds and stuff, but I believe the actual passage drive-through goes through there.
It may be some of the stuff has been shutting down periodically because they can't maintain it. Like they have no park rangers.
No, I think I just mean like the general roadway goes through there.
But Skyline Drive's a national park. It has gates.
Yeah, but you can go off of it into the park areas, or you can just drive the skyline.
Somebody commented it somewhere, not in our chat, but like, oh, you can get into the parks for free now, basically, because like nobody's working. It's
Nobody's
like,
walking it.
I don't know if that would be a great idea. Like trespassing on the national park, probably not great. Is Cooper Flag going to set the world on fire in Dallas, or is that going to be a nothing burger?
It looks like it. I mean, they keep posting videos of him dunking on people getting out of his way. So I'm just like, oh, we're like, that was contested. No,
That's
it wasn't.
where they set up guys. They set up guys like us, under the basket getting dunked on for the promo videos.
Well, he did have a 21-point game, and then his other two games were like 3 points and 5 points. So
he went to Dallas. No,
now you want
Dallas will never be successful. I don't think. I mean, when they won with Dirk, that was kind of a fluke, right? Then Luka wasted some years there.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's
Yeah,
past
they
his
were.
prime.
Oh yeah, it's NBA season. It's time for Steve to start the Luka.
Yeah, I'm waiting for some Luka hot takes from you guys.
That's right. Well, isn't Luka like 200 pounds now, or isn't he like? Didn't he pull his Zion?
He's the best fit of his best shape of his life.
He's the off-season Zion this year, where he's in the best shape of his life.
He just did Hot Ones, also the chicken wing thing.
They're always in the best shape of their life every year.
That was interesting. He was drinking that milk pretty quick.
Ham's talking smack. Tanking for Arch isn't looking so good. Honestly, Brad, this is playing out exactly the way I want it to. Arch is not looking
better though.
No, actually, I want him to fall to us. So I don't want him to be the number 1 overall pick where we've got to trade up 17 picks to get him and all that. I want him to be like number 8 or something because there's supposedly like 3 quarterbacks better.
Yeah, I don't see that being a problem right now.
Number 8 in like the 3rd round.
Exactly.
He'll be a first rounder because his last name with the last name Manning, he'll be a first round pick. He will go in the first round.
That's not what happened.
Come out this year.
That's not what happened with Sanders.
I think it'll be next year.
Exactly, I agree. Yeah, you might be able to get him in the 4th round.
I don't. Yeah, that's not the same.
You guys won't. As soon as y'all see him, you'll probably take him. But
speaking of Shedeur, I mean, we've got our man on the ground there in Cleveland. What's going on, Neo? Is Shedeur the next guy, or are they just like going to cut him, or what's I don't understand.
He's the backup right now. He'll be playing pretty soon.
All right.
Well, Gabriel's not playing poorly.
He's not playing good either.
Well, I don't think the team's very good. Looping back on what you started with, Dustin, and how the Chantilly thing kind of fell into that was that last time I was in Chantilly, or it might have been the first time I was in Chantilly, I saw Chase Young there signing autographs, and he was huge. He was still playing for Washington.
Chase Young?
So he was still playing for Washington, so he was like local. He was hometown guy then. And I remember him looking super young. I was like, man, he looks like that's the biggest 18-year-old I've ever saw is what it looked like. Like he looked like a little teenager with the biggest man like body.
Yeah, Alex. I think he's responding to what I had said originally because there's also massive grown men out there. I understand that, but I'm saying like I was looking at him compared to other massive grown men, and it was like
the difference.
This dude is, I mean, he is a thoroughbred out there, but he just can't get to the quarterback. He gets pressure. He's the king of getting pressure and just not getting home. Just
He's an
cannot get
Ohio
home.
State guy, right?
Where did
Didn't
Chase
he,
Young come out of?
He's Ohio State.
Is he Ohio State?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The Ohio State.
the Ohio State University.
That one.
Real quick, hello Shelby, in case you're watching.
Hi, Shelby.
Dolphins are at the very least in a soft rebuild right now. The Saints
just-
are in a hard rebuild.
They have a
Dolphins suck.
really poor defense. They're okay. I mean, well, no, they just can't stop the run at all. I mean,
How long
Rico
does their coach
Dowdle.
have
Well,
this year?
if he's responsible for the defensive coordinator, which I think he is, then he's going to face some music for that. But the offense really is not playing poorly. The offense is scoring points. Achane is a top fantasy running back. Like if you have Jalen Waddle in fantasy football, you're happy. If you have Devon Achane in fantasy football, you're happy. If you have Darren Waller in fantasy football, you're happy. So that's telling me that they're scoring points. But the defense is really, really bad. They really can't stop the run. They've let two backup running backs run for what? The backup for the Chargers just ran 125 yards on them last week, Vidal.
Yeah.
And then the week before, Rico Dowdle ran for like 180 on him. So, and he was backing up Chuba.
Football's been interesting the last couple weeks. Some teams have been falling, and
Bucks are red hot. Ham, are they going to keep it going and to go 15-1, 16-1?
I think we have a hard time against the Lions on Monday night. We're pretty banged up. I mean, and we have a bye week right after. I don't think they're in any rush to try and bring somebody back. Just give them that extra 3 weeks basically to get ready for the game after the bye week and get everybody back healthy. That's really what we need. Everybody's hurt on our team. We got good depth at least, especially at wide receiver, but we're struggling right now.
Yeah.
How many of you moved all of your money out of savings into Topps Labubu cards?
Labubu Tops has not dropped yet, so I have not
yet.
been able
I
to
can't do that.
I thought they pre-sold it. They didn't pre-sell it already?
Tomorrow, I think.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
They just announced it, so I mean, yeah. Oh, that's going to be hot. I mean, it's not something I would hold on to long term, but it's definitely extremely flippable.
You can have Topps Chrome rubber duck cards, and they're hot. Everything's hot.
I don't even think actual Labubu was that hot anymore, though.
It's starting to cool off.
Yeah, I think it's kind of running.
Yeah, well, they're getting ready to come out with some type of like serial numbered ones too, out in their little mystery boxes. So that'll drive everybody nuts.
We went through this with Beanie Babies once.
Correct. That's all this is Beanie Babies.
If they had serial numbered Beanie Babies, it probably would still be going. That was the miss.
At least 1% of them.
Just 1%. That was the miss. Instead, now we all have the Princess Diana bear or whatever, like the limited edition one.
There's like that, and there's like the purple crab or something.
It's funny. I just saw this as I was scrolling Facebook and come online, and a Topps ad scrolled by in the algorithm, and it was for the Labubu trading cards. And I would have thought that this was a joke also if I didn't just actually see it before, literally 2 minutes before live stream.
I tell you what, though, give Topps some credit for hitting on. I mean, between SpongeBob has been a good sell for them. Labubu, the Topps Disney Wonder did anybody get Disney Wonder cards? I don't. That's probably going to be hot. I mean, like their pop culture, their non-sports stuff has been pretty.
Well, I mean, like I understand SpongeBob, but if they come out with SpongeBob Series 2, like then that kind of kills the whole autographs of Series 1. Because then you're gonna have the guys starting signing more and more stuff. Same thing with Disney. Tom Hanks and all these other guys are signing, and they keep dropping product every 6 months or more of the same stuff. It gets dull. It no longer makes it special, and it just starts to kill its long-term value.
It's disappointing that a lot of this stuff, and Topps is doing it now. We knew that it was the way Fanatics was getting, but a lot of it's sticker autos. Like, I don't know. Just to me, it loses its luster. I know maybe I'm just too old school, and people are starting to really, and maybe sticker autos are starting to become more popular or more acceptable. I'm not really sure. I'm a little bit out of the loop, guys. But to me, I don't know if I'll ever be able to adjust to them when I can always get something else hard signed. Maybe not a card, but maybe I can get something else hard signed, right? We haven't talked about Comic-Con yet, but Just like they put out a boys set, and my wife and I just started watching season 4 of The Boys because we like to watch that show. And Upper Deck put out a set, and they put sticker autos in that set. Honestly, I would rather go to a Comic-Con and get a Funko Pop signed, hard signed, or something like that, or something cool, or a comic book. The Boys is a comic book, hard signed. I'd prefer that over a pack pulled sticker auto right now.
That's interesting. You think there'll be more people that go that route?
I typically won't buy anything that has a sticker auto.
I mean,
I have one sticker auto in my entire collection.
I mean, just the 4 of us on this panel right now. Do we? I mean, of course, we prefer hard signed. But if there was an auto of somebody that we really, really liked or really, really wanted, and our only option to get it on a sports card was on a sticker, would you prefer it on something else? I'm not sure. I don't know how you guys would feel about it.
There's something about also the earlier stickers in like the early 2000s where they were put inside of the card and it had more of the hollow foil background. It just looked different.
We don't really have this issue with sports cards because there's always a zillion autos for athletes.
Yeah, it's usually non-sports stuff.
I mean,
all the images for Topps basketball so far have been shown as an on-card auto. So I'm really curious.
Well, Topps flagship usually is on-card autos.
A lot of stuff could be on-card, but a lot of the stuff that I'm really talking about is this niche stuff. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
Name a baseball player, Shohei Ohtani. It's not hard to find him. It's not hard to find a card with him that's been on card signed because he has so many autographs out there. There's going to be stickers and there's going to be on card. On card is always going to draw a premium, but the other ones are going to be still sellable because there's going to be people who can't afford the on card. So there's always going to be that market for it. But when I'm talking about something that's super niche and supposed to be made to felt really special, like a Woody Tom Hanks autograph right now, I would prefer it on a different character. I'm not a big Toy Story person, but for that card to be like the card that you're selling your product on, and then it'd be a sticker auto, to me, it's just a letdown. I was really hyped about that Topps Chrome set. I saw the price of the boxes, and I saw boxes at Comic-Con as early as last week, Thursday, selling for $550 a box. They could have been cheaper. They could have been more. I don't know. The ones that I saw, a guy had for sale for $550 a box of Topps Chrome Disney. I would love. I sometimes would not mind to drop that kind of money if I know I can pull that Tom Hanks card or the Billy Crystal. I think is a really cool one. But I'm not willing to spend my money on it for sticker autos. But again, that's me. So, for instance, in what I talk about,
if it was Rittenhouse for $550 a box, you'd take a shot at it. If it was on card Rittenhouse stuff,
yeah. For like I have this in my room. I'm a huge Kurt Russell and a huge Val Kilmer fan. You guys know I like Val Kilmer a lot, and I have an on card auto of him from the Topps Allen and Ginter set. The only Kurt Russell auto out there on card is from a Donruss Americana. Our autograph card is a Donruss Americana, but it's a sticker. I would prefer to have something like this, My Friend Doc Holliday by Wyatt Earp, signed by Kurt Russell, than a sticker on card.
Yeah,
or sticker.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's my options. And that's just where I sit right now. Do I still like cards? Yes.
Especially if you get to meet them. If you're meeting them at a con and then you have an experience.
Yeah, and
this is my one sticker auto.
Yeah.
Well, that's your option. If
there's no choice. It's this or nothing.
I just don't know why that sticker doesn't bother me as much as the new stickers. I really don't.
I think they designed the card around it better. Like there was at least a little bit.
That might be part of it too. It's like they're trying to hide the sticker today, and it's like they're trying to trick.
Exactly.
Yeah, the older stuff, like you said, Ham, they kind of just owned it. Like this is a sticker auto. We know it's a sticker auto. Like here's the sticker. Let's not be coy about it.
Because Absolute, Donruss, Playoff, all back in the day, they had that type of a sticker, and sometimes it would embed it into the card under a layer. So
the difference is back then there wasn't many options. Period. You weren't getting many autographed cards within packs.
Correct.
I mean, back then,
this is the only other sticker auto that I have because it's the only dual auto that they have. It's only stickers.
Yeah,
which there's no reason this should be a sticker.
Good,
this could easily be.
I've got for Stranger Things stuff. There's for certain like Millie Bobby Brown. There's only stickers for her, so that's what it is. I have on card auto of her, but it's like it's the in person stuff, But that's the only option that you got.
Breaking packs and to pull an autograph was so special just to get an autograph. Period. I don't even think that probably even registered as being a sticker auto back then. We just thought it was a shiny silver thing.
Yeah, because we got relics a lot.
But nowadays, when the market is really flooded with all autographs as a whole, and you can be picky about the ones you go for. Now, some of the things I stated, there aren't many options, but I would just prefer something hard signed as opposed to a sticker card. Even if the sticker card was my only option.
Mott's, what do you mean by this comment? If you're still here, the Disney Wonder Drop was a fake EQL. They made it seem rare, but everybody wins trying to pull a fast one. You mean like you feel like a lot of people got product, or
yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay,
yeah. It was usually the EQLs. Typically, most people don't hit, and I think a lot of people hit on this one.
Got it.
It's like, did it really need to be an EQL, or do they just put it up as EQL to drive hype? Because it's like, oh, it's an EQL. People must want it. It must be rare.
Yeah, that does
kind of what they did with like WWE Finest.
What was the last thing I won an EQL once for something recently? We went the top WWE Topps Finest that I didn't get, I didn't either, and I haven't seen the product. I haven't seen any reviews on it.
Some of the autos look good, but the base card, a lot of the base cards look like crap. The way that they designed them, they're really hard to see.
Now I have a question. What do you think about cuts as opposed to stickers? Now, I don't mean cuts of people that you can still get autographs from, because if someone is still living or still signing, still capable, still doing autographs, some people just stop signing. Like I think Bill Russell stopped signing in his career, right? But
for instance, like a Mickey Mantle cut card that's stupid. He signed a zillion things. He signed a ton of cards.
What I'm saying, a lot of the different more rare stuff, or even when you look at Leaf products. Okay, now Leaf will take cuts and basically turn them into a card.
Yeah, I don't like
of modern day stuff.
Yeah, I don't like
probably for the appeal of a card collector, because the card collector thinks that if you cut something off of an 8x10 and stick it into a card, now it's a card. Technically, I guess it is, but I'm not really sure.
When I see it cut from a photo like that, we could have just bought the photo autographed, and then they stick it in the card. I don't like that at all. I hate that, actually.
Sometimes
I don't mind the ones from books and stuff that they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like that they would destroy the original piece, but then you could also say that about game use jerseys, right? They destroy a special game. Well, they're not using game use shit anymore, but I guess it doesn't matter. But
the players think there's too much money in it.
Well, for instance, I got a Mr. Rogers autograph at the National, and it was one of those Leaf cards. It was something that he had signed. That was like a card or something. You can see where he had started to write part of a letter on it. You can actually see some of the ending of the letter, and it was cut off of that and placed into a card by Leaf to be a card. Now, it's tough to find anything signed by him, but it also goes to nowadays when they make like Babe Ruth autograph cards, they got to put a cut in it to make that, right?
Yeah.
Some of this stuff is strictly on index card or on paper or cut off of a bank check or things like that. You often see. But would you rather have a check from a bank that's signed by Babe Ruth and slabbed, or would you rather have that Babe Ruth signature that's been cut off and put into a card? Now, I'm not talking custom cards, because people, and Ham, people make the custom cards like crazy out of cut signatures. Beautiful. Yeah, and a lot of them look really good.
I'd rather have the check all day.
I'd rather have the card in that situation.
People say stupid stuff in the comments, man. Why? Mr. Rogers, we're collecting now, because I bought an autograph card of Mr. Rogers. I'm a Mr. Rogers collector. Is that a real question, John Wolf? Or is it just a statement? It doesn't have a question mark at the end, so I don't know if he's accusing me of collecting him or if he's asking me if I'm collecting him. Anyway, let's get back to where we were at. But
Steve's about to fire off.
I'd rather have the card than the check in that situation.
So
just because I like the design aspect of things, and a check looking at it's boring.
So say it's like a Topps Transcendent. And they take a lot of that stuff is made out of cuts. You'll see there's one of ones in there of a John F. Kennedy or just someone very significant in history or a Babe Ruth or something. Would you rather have that Transcendent cut card, or would you just rather have the autograph of whatever, or the item of whatever that autograph came off of?
They'd always determine what the autograph of the item would be. If it was like a significant letter, I'd rather have the whole letter. If it was just some letter that he wrote back to somebody who sent him a fan mail back in the day, and he just sent him a letter back and signed it, and they cut that out, well, then I'd rather have the cut. But if it's something significant, then
I mean, if it's like an index card, I feel like every index card should be made into a cut auto card.
Okay.
I don't want an index card.
Otherwise, everybody thinks it's fake.
So, okay, I have a pretty neat story along these lines. Actually, I'm not sure if I've told this before, but one of the lottery agents that works at the casino that I work at, his wife collects books, old books. So she buys big lots of books and hopes to find some nice old first editions and things like that. Well, one day he was looking through one of the books in her set, and on the inside page, just written at the top, not like someone was intentionally autographing this book. It was just written in there as if they were writing it in there as ownership, like this belongs to me, was the name Cy Young. And he knew that I did cards, and he come to me and he goes, my wife had this book and it has Cy Young written in it. He goes, what if it's the baseball player? I'm like, well, if it's the baseball player, you probably have a pretty valuable signature. And he asked me what he needed to do to get it authenticated. And I told him about JSA and Beckett and things like that. And he did send it to Beckett, and he got it authenticated as a real Cy Young signature. Now, in that instance, do you just keep the book? Or do you try to cut the auto out and make it into something else? He ended up selling
it out or sell it to get cut, but that's what I would do.
He ended up selling it, I think, for $2,500. And at least he told me that was the best offer he had gotten on it. I don't know if he held on to it or if he sold it. I haven't talked to him since then. But anyway, that would be an example of finding a signature of somebody on something. And I don't even know
when I go to the thrift store on specific books, like if I see like a autobiography on somebody, a lot of times those people would buy them and get them signed. So if they don't have, nobody ever opens it up, you wouldn't know that it was signed. So like if I see like a book about Mickey Mantle or like a Tom Hanks or a presidential person or whatever, always open the first couple pages up and just take a look at it, because you never know.
Now, I had the Lou Alcindor autograph.
Yep.
And that was signed on the back of a business card. So it was about the size of what you would use on a sports card. I also saw some Lou Alcindor autographs that were on like Sports Illustrated from when he was at UCLA, I believe. Wherever he played. They were college, because it wasn't long after college that he became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he stopped signing as Lou Alcindor. Was that maybe 72, 71? But anyway, that little index card that that little business card that I had was actually more valuable than, or more expensive than what I've seen like signed magazines and stuff go for. Now, at the end of the day, I ended up finding out that business card had some significance to it, and I probably undersold that item. But I wondered why the person who bought it off me was offering so strong. Once they bought it off me, I found out actually from the buyer what that business card actually went to. And it was actually a business card from a TV studio where Lou Alcindor had did an interview, like a talk show. And he was on there as the talk show. So he was on there as a talk show guest. And it was actually a business card from that TV studio. And he signed the back of it, I guess, after or before that. And you can go on YouTube back and find that old interview, which is actually cool. So you can relate that card to that time, that actual date and time that he signed around. You can ballpark it. Okay, he was here this day doing this interview on this talk show. You can actually put that business card to that date and time and place, which to me does add more collectability to it. But with it being said, I no longer own it.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's shift over to New York Comic Con. You guys were there. Ham and I were not. Neo, you made a video on it. I have not watched it yet. How was it? You guys had a 6-hour dinner. Did you buy each other? Did you?
Might have been like 7-hour dinner.
It was Italian again, I heard. You guys closed down the Italian stores. Italian restaurant.
I'll let Steve break down dinner because I've eaten at that restaurant like 10 times. So I don't know. Did I hook you up with a good restaurant or it
was really good. Actually, my wife actually talked about it when we got home. She talked about it again about how much she enjoyed dinner there at the Italian restaurant. Yeah, it was good. I had 2 beverages and I'm a super lightweight and I'm sure I just started talking. I just probably talk. I'm sober right now, talking. But yeah, I think my wife told me, she was like, yeah, at one point last night you were just kind of monologuing. And I was like, yeah, all right, okay. But
8 hours later.
But yeah, we had a good time. And the food was really good. I just enjoyed the whole everything because
what was your favorite thing about Comic-Con? Because that's your first Comic-Con, correct?
And how is it different from National?
Well,
there's women there, and that's number one.
Lots.
Most of them are dressed scantily.
A lot.
There's
okay,
females.
so man, I don't know how to say this without like hurting the feelings of the sports card world.
Do it.
And I really wanted to, and of course I wanted to sit down and put this into a video, but I just haven't been doing videos. No, it's not that. It's I'm not into a lot of the stuff at the Comic-Con, first of all. Like I was going there for Marvel, for Star Wars, maybe some video games that I used to like to play, like World of Warcraft or something, to see some cool stuff from that. But this seemed to be like 70-75% anime. And I don't know any anime at all. Like I might know 2 or 3 titles, but I've never watched an episode of any anime or anything. So a lot of it I couldn't relate to personally. A lot of it I didn't have much interest in. The show floor was way different. It wasn't like lots of people making deals. It was basically kind of just like vendors set up selling their merchandise. Almost as if they owned stores and they just moved took inventory from their store and set up a table. It wasn't like, hey, I'm bringing stuff to sell to this vendor and they're going to give me deals on stuff. I mean, a lot of stuff was basically just kind of like almost stores on the floor. That's the way that I felt. The people were just there selling their goods, their services, whether it was an autograph. And that was in what I would be like the showroom floor area as far as like a sports card show floor area when you're walking around looking at the cards. Now, there was some comic books there, but really there wasn't a lot of people set up selling comic books. There was some, but there was way more like different stuff like Funko Pops and artwork, a lot of original artwork and things like that. The one thing that I'll say, I mean, it's hard to say this because this is how I feel, and I might say it, and people might say, "Steve, you're completely wrong," because I feel more strongly about it than you do. But I feel like the people at the Comic-Con felt more special to the people that were there for the Comic-Con than the National feels special to the people that go to the National. And I don't know if that makes sense. For me
I understand. Well, you go to
I can sum it up for you perfectly because I've said this in videos before. Comic-Con people are there for the love of the game. The National people are there to make 15%.
I was going to say that, but there are people that do go, without alienating the people that do go to the National.
And I'm painting a broad brush there. That's a macro.
The broad picture. I felt like the people at the Comic-Con were there because this was the one time in the year that they can do what they do openly and be very open about it, whether they're dressed up, playing the character, or whatever, and they won't be ridiculed. They're actually accepted by everybody there because everybody is there for the same reason. And it's to have a good time. enjoying whatever genre you enjoy at that Comic-Con, whether it be anime or comic books or cosplay or artwork. They were all there to enjoy the experience for the experience. They paid for their ticket to have a good time. And I don't think enough people go to the National to do that. And I'm not saying that there are, because I know there's going to be people in the comments that say, hey, I go to the National every year. It's like a guy's trip. I enjoy myself. That's what we do. We do too. But I don't think that's the majority. I think a majority of the National feels like a business trip.
It's a business
trip. It feels
trip,
like lots of buying, lots of selling. Everybody bases the success of the National on how much they make and how much they sell or whatever, as opposed to basing the success on it of how good of a time everybody's having. At one point, I was just like, I don't know a lot about this Comic-Con. I don't know a lot about the different genres here, but I'm going to sit back. I'm going to people watch because I was having a good time watching other people have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was sitting back and I was like, man, look at these people in their element, just having a good time. I was like, man, this kind of actually feels kind of good. And I didn't hear anybody at all talk bad about it, say anything bad about it, say it wasn't worth the ticket, say it wasn't worth going. I had to pay for an additional ticket for my wife's second day on the secondary market. I paid $200 for it because they were sold out. I don't think I wasted my money. And there's people who will do full-length videos in the sports card hobby telling people why they shouldn't go to the National, telling people why the National is terrible, telling people why it's a waste of money. I didn't get that vibe at the Comic-Con at all.
We have a lot more haters.
Yeah, similar experience for me at GalaxyCon, which is it's big show, but just kind of a smaller version of what you're talking about. It's the same sort of setup and different genres, people cosplaying, and the actors are there and all that good stuff.
And yeah, and I haven't been to obviously a Comic-Con, but watching the videos from the San Diego Comic-Con versus the New York Comic-Con, I feel like they're two different shows completely.
Yeah, Neo, what were you gonna say?
Similar-ish. San Diego,
what they're surrounded by, yeah. But like when I'm watching the videos of like the stuff that's going on, and I guess maybe more people put more effort into the San Diego Comic-Con versus the New York. They just look like there's even so much more when you're at the San Diego versus the New York. Just from videos I've watched, and I've probably watched like 20 videos of each.
I think a lot of people are leaning that New York is the better of the two between them. I was going to ask Steve what it is. What did your wife think as like a completely neutral third party that doesn't care about this stuff at all for the most part?
Well, for her, some of the stuff that was there, she was actually into more than me because George R.R. Martin was doing a panel. So our train got in at 10:45. I got an early check-in at the hotel, and so the Comic-Con already started at 10 in the morning. We get there at like 20 minutes to 12, and she's like hauling ass through the venue. She's got an app pulled up with the map and everything on it. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, where are you going? She didn't even tell me. I'm like, where are we going? I was following her. She's like, George R.R. Martin is going to be on the stage in 10 minutes. I'm trying to get in there before it fills up. I'm like, well, you didn't even tell me. Like, I knew he was going to be here, but you didn't tell me. So I originally planned this trip myself. I had gotten a hotel in New York for 4 nights, and I had gotten my 2 days on Comic-Con. I was going to come to New York on Tuesday, hang out on Tuesday, Wednesday, go to the Comic-Con on Thursday, Friday. My wife had to work. Well, she ends up getting off work. She goes, so she gets off, and I find this out a couple weeks ago, not the day of, but she goes, I got a Comic-Con ticket. I got off work and I got a Comic-Con ticket for Thursday, but they were sold out on Friday. I said, well, I don't want to go to Comic-Con and leave you hanging in New York City. She's like, I'll just do my thing. You do whatever. But I was like, well, we ended up getting one again. I had bought one off StubHub for like 3 times what they cost normally. But I thought originally she was kind of going to like tag along with me, the feeling that I was getting. And then we enter the Comic-Con and she's like gone, and I'm like following her, and she's like telling me where we're going. And I'm like, which was cool. But I left out. We were watching the George R.R. Martin panel, and I was kind of like, hey, I'm going to head down. I want to see the showroom. That's the first thing I wanted to see. I was like, I watched like 15 minutes of that, and then I headed down to the showroom, and then she watched that, and then we linked up again later. But I told her, just like at the National, I said, look, we're going to get separated. So, when me and Ham and you, we start walking around, we get separated. You stop and look at something that I don't stop at, or I stop, or whatever. We just get separated, and we start.
We get lost when we're at the same table.
Right.
Yeah, we walk into the National, and we're together for like 30 seconds. And
that show floor, New York Comic-Con show floor, is on a completely different level than the National.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It is crazy in there.
It's
you
way
can't
more
see around
out,
things.
way bigger, way more people.
Way more diversity by a mile.
The first day that I ran into Neo, I was in a crabby mood, man. I ran into Neo. I was tired. Our train had just got there, and people were just bumping into me all day long to the point where I was like, next person that bumps into me is going to get fucking Steiner line. I'm going to clothesline the next person that bumps into me, or the next person's who walks by with a costume that's got like big wings sticking off of it, and they rub across my face, and I'm like, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, bite it high.
I'm like, if you bump into me, say, hey, I'm sorry or something. You know how I knew it was time to go on the second day? I left around 3 p.m., man. About 20 minutes to 3, I get to an area in the Comic-Con floor that's just gridlocked. We're like this. I'm just like this. And we are gridlocked. We're packed up shoulder to shoulder on the showroom floor, and nobody's moving. And I'm like, what's going on, man? Is there like a train crossing up here? Like, why is nobody moving? Was everybody just standing here like this? And people are like just dumb and just not dispersing and just standing in big puddle. And I just was like, truck stick, and went truck stick through like 3 rows of people. And people were like apologizing to me. Like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm just trucking through here because I'm tired of being crammed up in here.
Did you yell, you're going to shit yourself if you don't get to the restroom?
I'm going to shit myself.
I texted my wife, man, like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, because we got separated. I was like,
crashed out.
I said, I just trucked through. I said, I think I'm done here at the Comic-Con. I said, I just trucked through 3 rows of people, and we probably should go. And we left. But other than me trucking through some people, it was pretty fun.
Crashed out, Steve.
Did you
how
buy
many
anything,
people?
Steve?
Huh?
Did you buy anything?
I took $1,500 cash, and I came home with $1,400 cash. I spent $100 on a set of dice for my daughter because she likes to play Dungeons and Dragons. So I got her a really, really nice set of amethyst dice made out of actual crystal and her favorite color. Because there was a lot of that type of stuff there too. Like I said, there was a lot of cool stuff there. Even if you weren't into some of the stuff, like a lot of it was nice, cool stuff to look at. Like, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm looking at these dice sets and I'm like, I need a reason to buy one of these. And I was like, my daughter, my daughter likes Dungeons and Dragons. I said this would be a nice gift for her because she does. She goes and plays once a week with a group of friends or whatever. So,
did you meet any actors, or what? Did you do any of that stuff, signings or any of that?
So we were talking about The Boys at dinner, and I was like, man, Carl Urban's here. Right. And so Carl Urban plays Billy Butcher on The Boys. You might know him from some movies too, but he's played in a lot of stuff. He was on Star Trek some. He was in Chronicles of Riddick.
Thor.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So I'm like, that Thursday I saw a cool Funko Pop of Carl Urban as Billy Butcher. And I'm like, man, I'm going to go back to that comic. I'm going to go back to that stand tomorrow. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to go to the Carl Urban signing and have him sign it. So I go to the website to buy tickets for Carl Urban autograph, and he's sold out. So I was like, oh shit. So that, of course, you probably had to buy him way in advance, but I thought
most of the big signers will sell out like in the first 30 minutes that their stuff goes up.
So that was my attempt to. My wife realized while we were there that a content creator on Instagram that's an artist that she follows and reads his little, like, he does like little doodles, like 1-page comics with like little memes and stuff on them, was actually there signing at Artist Alley, or was at the Artist Alley, which is a section of the Comic-Con. And one day when we separated, she was like, I'm going down to the Artist Alley. I'm going to see if I can find so-and-so and get a book from him and have him sign it. And that's what she did. So she got an autograph of that person, but I don't remember their name. And I went and buy a lot of the signers and stuff like that. But again, there was not anybody there there was people there that were famous, and I liked some of their work, but nobody there that I was like, man, that's my person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My wife did a photo op with Martin Sheen and got a couple autographs from Martin Sheen because she loves The West Wing. And she did one with for her friend, actually, not for her. Sigourney Weaver was there, and she did a signing with Sigourney Weaver. And I did a bunch as well. Did you go down the artist alley at all, or did just your wife go down there?
I didn't make it. No, I didn't get down there.
That's like a whole nother show. It's like a whole separate show.
Well, the one day we got in, we started on the far end of the showroom and worked our way all the way to the middle to the CGC booth. Now it started to separate into corporate at that point. Another thing is I did stop at CGC grading to grade the Tim Burton autograph that I got from the Nightmare Before Christmas set. I want that slabbed and authenticated, which it's authenticated from the pack, but I want it authenticated from there. And I took my Stephen King, which was graded by SGC, and dropped it off to have them snap it and put it into a CGC case. Because again, that's PC for me, and I love the CGC slab. I love the clarity of it. I like the feel of it, the size of it. The only thing it doesn't have is secondary market value, but these are my PC items, so I want them in the slab that looks best. Plus the SGC grade on SGC doesn't authenticate the autos. So my Stephen King that was graded by SGC 9.5 with a 10 auto, the auto is a 10, but it's not authenticated. Again, it's pack pulled from Upper Deck, but it's still cool to have the authentication on it from another authenticator. Mistake. This was going to go into the video. Lesson learned was going to CGC at a Comic-Con.
Not smart.
Is different because that's like the PSA of Comic-Con. And the line is I had to sign up for a queue and get a text message to come back later to submit my cards because so many people were submitting comics and they didn't have them separated out. Now, when the website is separate, and when I went to submit them after, so you enter them all in the laptop. They put you in a laptop, let you enter your cards in hand. You did it to National.
Yep.
And then you go and you actually give them to the people working the booth. And mind you, this booth is like 5 times bigger than the one at the National. Like it's a whole big carousel, like circular booth that goes all the way around with counter space for you to go up and submit. The one at the National is just like a little walk up with like one window. No, this one's huge. But so they gave me this is also what's cool about Comic-Con. They have a lot of exclusive things that are exclusive to the show. So if you're a collector and you can get in on the exclusive stuff, that's the only place you can get it. Whether it's a comic book print or a cover variant or a Funko Pop that you can only that was only made for that. So from the collectible standpoint, that's pretty neat. Now I submitted those cards and they looked at me and they were like, cards, wow. So they were like,
what are these?
It was surprised that someone had submitted cards to them. Now I don't know if it was a surprise because I was at a Comic-Con submitting cards, but the guy also said, wow, you're crossing a SGC to a CGC case. So to them, he felt like that was like a good thing. He was like,
wow, you tell him SGC is going out of business?
Yeah. No, I didn't. But he was like, man, you're going to cross a SGC to a CGC. So to me, that tells me that they are viewing SGC, who's a competitor, but when they see somebody cross, they were saying I must have good faith in their company if I'm basically crossing an SGC to them is the way that they came across. One of the bad things though is I'm submitting my cards and I got to pick my submission level, right? Bulk, standard, whatever, rushed, whatever their different titles were. And I asked the guy there, I'm like, what is the turnaround times on these submission levels? Well, you get the cards back when we get done grading them. Well, yeah, I understand that.
Got him.
So I said, yeah, but I see submission levels and they're all different prices. I said, so if I select this one or this one or this one, what time frame should I be looking at to get my cards back? And he's like, well, it's really just based on when we get them back to the place and when they get through our system and they get graded and slabbed. And I'm like, I understand that. I understand that they got a process they got to go through to get graded. I said, but what I'm asking you is why would I pay you $45 as opposed to $17 for these two service levels? Is this 6 months? Is this, 2 weeks? Like, what is it here? Well, I just think that when we get done grading them, you'll get them back, and you should just select this. Because you should select the service in the middle. So you don't pay the least and you don't pay the most. I'm like, that's not an acceptable answer. So he calls it.
Ask yourself, Steve, do you want to give us 45 or do you want to donate 17 to our company?
Yeah. Like if I'm going to get the same service for $17, I'm going to go with $17. So he calls another guy over. He's like, hey, so I got a question. Oh no. So they never figured that out. So I would just kind of like, whatever. So then he sees that I have an SGC slab and he's like, oh, you might have to crack that one out before you can submit it to us. I'm like, you guys won't crack it out and cross it for me? I mean, you have a crossover service limit listed right here. He's like, yeah, but we don't take all cases. You might have to crack that one out.
Like 4 companies.
I'm like, I'm here. I was like, I didn't bring my tool bag with me. He's like, that's okay. We got a guy over here with tools that can crack them out.
They got a bottle opener.
Wait a minute.
A bottle opener on you?
Yeah, this is a true story. I'm not making this up either.
Wait, did you go to Jimmy's grading service or CGC?
I'm like, hold on. I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you guys don't crack out cases, but homeboy over there at the counter got a whole tool kit?
To be fair, you were probably talking to a guy that has never seen a sports card or any card in his life. It's just a comic.
So he calls another helper over and he's like, hey, I don't know if he can submit this because it's already in a case. He might have to crack it out. And the other guy's like, I don't know, man. I'm new here.
They went on a big hiring spree before the show.
Too bad you weren't vlogging this entire thing.
I had my camera on and started saying some stuff about it. But anyway, he finally comes over. He goes, oh, yeah, we can do that one. That's in an SGC case. He goes, so there's a drop-down menu for crossovers, and it'll ask you what slab your card is already in and the certification number. But if your slab is not in that drop-down menu, then they won't snap it and cross it. So it has to be like PSA Beckett or SGC. They won't mess with any other slabs. Like Tag wasn't on there. HGA wasn't on there. So they won't snap a slab unless it's one of the 3 big companies, which are no longer big companies, but the 3 name brand companies. But yeah, it was like, it was Twilight Zone in me. But then when I got to the counter, something that was pretty cool was they were like, oh, for submitting today, you get a free exclusive Avengers comic book that's exclusive to the National. And they gave it to me. And I was like, that's sweet. And they're like, yeah, the cover is drawn by Peach Momoka or something, which I guess she's Neo knows her. She's a really popular artist in the comic book world right now. And then they gave you the option. They're like, we have her coming in for a private signing for $80. We'll keep your comic book that we're giving you right now. We'll take it back in with your cards. She'll sign it at the private signing. We'll slab it and grade it and then send it back to you. So I was like, for $80, I'm getting a free National variant Avengers comic book that's going to be signed by the artist, who's a super popular artist who only does like private signings now. And they're going to slab it with a grade for me.
It sounds pretty good.
I was like, that sounds like a pretty good, so I did spend $80 there earlier. I said, but I spent that. I took 1,500 cash, came home with 14. I did my CGC submissions and my CGC purchase on debit. So, because I didn't want to, I want to have my cash available for the vendor table.
Yeah.
So that was that. That's one of the only things that I bought for myself, and I don't have it. That's why I forgot. I didn't bring it home, but I thought it was a cool little thing to get. I like the Avengers. Comic books are cool. It's an exclusive.
Neo, did you get exclusive stuff too, or did you focus on just what you were doing?
No, I just pretty much focused on what I was doing. None of the exclusive stuff was really like grabbing my attention this year.
I caught the there. You were trying to get a bunch of autos. I caught like the first half of your vlog, but I don't know the show that you were talking about. What is that show where you got like 8 actors?
It's a cartoon on Amazon.
Okay. What's the name of it again?
Critical Role.
Critical Role.
Yeah. Okay. It's was a Twitch show and then ended up turning into a cartoon.
Mm.
They did a live performance at Radio City Music Hall that we went to on Tuesday that was sold out. So we did that on Tuesday. Then we went to the Stranger Things on Wednesday, and then we're at the show Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah. So I don't know if we talked about this before we came on, but you remember how I said, like, I don't know if I want to go to New York Comic Con just in case they do some sort of like promo stuff for Stranger Things in November. And they did announce that a couple of days ago where they're going to go to New York City as one of their spots. LA, they're going to like Italy. They're going to a variety of different spots, but
are they just doing like a show or something, or what are they doing?
I have no idea, but they haven't announced like exactly what it is, but there's going to be some sort of big event that's in New York. So, and it's in November, but they got to announce it pretty quick. I mean, the first episode launches the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we're talking about like 45 days or 40 days from now. So I assume there's going to be details on that. But if it's somewhat affordable, if it's not something like crazy, then I'm going to fly up with my daughter in November for that one.
Steve, would you go again next year?
My wife and I were discussed this today because she was like, Comic-Con was really cool and really fun. She goes, but I don't know if I feel like I need to go back, is what she said. And I instantly was like, you know what? I would go back, but I'd have a different approach. If I went back, it's going to sound stupid. But if I went back, man, I want to
dress up as?
I want to wear a costume.
Yeah.
The Thanos.
I was Thanos for Halloween.
You're going
last
Thanos?
Year. And
okay.
I was Thanos for Halloween last year, and I painted my whole head and everything purple, because it was easy to do. I was bald, but
yeah, if I go, I'd want to at least dress up.
I don't think I could paint myself as Thanos and walk through New York City to the Comic-Con. I just don't know if I still have that type of thing in me, but but I felt like watching everybody else in costume, and not everybody was like in character. Some people were just, dressed. Some people were in character. Like they really thought they were the person and they were talking like them and everything else. But it was fun. I mean, it was fun.
Like them.
Yeah, I saw one guy dressed up as Red Guardian. And he was with a girl that was dressed as a Black Widow, the second Black Widow, the younger version. Not
Yelena Belova.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he was in full-on character, and he was loud and talking with a Russian accent and laughing and busting jokes on people. Man, he was like, my man was enjoying his best life and his best time. And even though I was standing there like, man, this is not like for me, like I couldn't do this, I was having fun and entertained watching him. Like I was like, he's doing his thing and he doesn't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. And that's what was great about it. That's what was great about it, because in the hobby space right now, everybody cares so much about what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is thinking in sports card right now. So much that
we should dress up as athletes.
So much that's all they do their content on.
Let's break the mold next year and go as athletes. Let's cosplay as athletes next year at the National.
For one day.
That's just wearing a jersey.
Yeah. I'm Mickey Mantle. See? I'm Mickey Mantle.
A lot of the problem on deciding whether or not you want to go to Comic-Con is the way that they do it is ingenious to rope you in. The tickets go on sale before you know if anyone who's actually going to be there.
Yeah, I saw that because I said to her,
the tickets go on sale in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And they sell out. A 4-day pass sells out in like an hour. And the VIP
make your money back reselling the ticket, obviously.
Steve, you know what you do is
you don't find out the guest list until like a month or two before the con.
We go to GalaxyCon Virginia. We should meet at GalaxyCon Virginia. That's like it's just a mini version. It's not as expensive, but it's a similar type deal. Same setup. It's just,
I just know, like, and that's what I told my wife, Neil. I was like, I would go if there was some events or people there that I really specifically wanted to see. I wasn't I don't want to say impressed, because there was a lot of stuff. The showroom, like I said, I didn't really spend any money. So there wasn't a lot of stuff on the showroom there that grabbed my attention that I wanted to buy. I just had more fun just kind of like soaking in the experience and seeing other people. And seeing some cool stuff that I was like, man, that's not something that I would use, but that's nice. That's neat. Seeing all the props from like different movies, that people buy for their costumes and stuff, like all the swords. Like, I can't name them all, but I know I saw a bunch of swords that look like replica swords. There was a cool one that I liked. That was the Buster sword from Final Fantasy VII. It was Cloud's sword, his original sword. And I was like, that's super cool, because I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours playing Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation back in the day. And I was like,
Fantasy getting ready to come back out again?
I don't know, but I'm talking about
getting ready to drop a new video game.
Maybe. I haven't played console or anything.
I saw like a preview of it the other day or something, that somebody did an advertisement for it.
Ham, that mic is like a couple weeks old, right? A couple live streams old? Somebody's asking.
No. Yeah, probably, I don't know, 2 months.
Weapons.
Here's the thing. I've started planning my next vacation, my next like lengthy vacation. And so the end of April, early May of 2026, we're going to go to Japan. So it's like, I don't know anything about anime or anything. I guess I'll learn some stuff about anime when I go to Japan in the spring. But
we want to go next year, but we're not sure if we're going to be able to or not.
Are you going to Japan too, Ham?
We wanted to next year with my daughter to take
That's
her.
what
are you really?
We're going next year too. I didn't know that you guys were going.
You're going to Japan also?
Next year, yeah. We don't.
Neo, you're going to Japan now too. You know that.
Let's all go to Japan.
We'll have the whole plane to ourselves.
Go do a sumo match. I want you in the ring, bitch.
Yeah, Japan would be.
I just want to eat street food nonstop.
Have you guys been before or no?
I haven't.
I haven't.
But right now, I've planned 3 or I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 days in Osaka and at least 10 days in Tokyo. Because we're going to go to Universal, so we go to Super Nintendo World in Osaka, and then Naru National Park, which is where all the deer are at. They'll walk up to you and shit. Well, deer will walk up to you around here too. One of these deer walk.
You're saying you do that here.
But and then while we're in Tokyo, we're going to, of course, spend lots of time in Tokyo, but we're going to day trip to like Mount Fuji. We're going to day trip to Nikko, which is another small town outside of Tokyo. Basically, just take the train, but we're just going to home base in Tokyo. And we're going to go to Disney World and Disney Sea that's in Tokyo, the 2 Disney parks. So,
right. Cool. Well, you have it way more planned out than us.
I've mapped it out on a calendar, but I just haven't locked anything in yet. I actually repriced plane tickets today, so I can get a direct flight from Newark, New Jersey.
You doing the nice lay down seats?
They're $4,900 a piece.
I know.
I don't think
my family is not going for $5,000 a seat. I'll tell you that.
No, we're just going to do. I'm not going to do basic economy. I'm going to do because if I fly United,
how long of a flight is that?
14 hours nonstop. Now I can fly Air Canada, and there'll be 2 hours, and then a 1 hour layover in Montreal, and then the rest of the way to Japan. So that would only be 14 or 12 hours on the plane at once. But I wish I could get one that actually went halfway there and had a layover, then went the other half. Like maybe flew to California and then left out of LA, something like that. But the airlines that I'm looking at are pretty much all direct or one stop in Canada. I mean, I'd like direct because you don't get off the plane.
14 hours. Long. I don't know if I could do 14 hours on a plane.
I did. Yeah, I know. I did 9 to Peru.
I'm gonna have to drink a bottle of NyQuil.
So,
I feel like we would stop off, connect in Seattle or something.
I thought there would be. I know some flights connect in LAX, but nothing that leaves around here unless they're. I don't know. I've looked, unless they're not bookable yet. I'm not really sure.
How much is the plane ticket that you're looking at getting?
Mine?
Yeah.
Like $1,250 for one.
$5,000 for the lay down seat is wild.
Yeah, I know. I priced them today. I got my little book here. I was pricing airline tickets today because I knew we would probably fly economy there's basic economy and then there's regular economy. Like if you get a basic economy ticket, it's like $1,100, but you don't even get a check, or you don't even get a carry-on bag. That's basically your ass. That's it. Your ass. You bring your ass and whatever you're wearing in your ass, and it's $1,100. So for like an extra $150, you get the upgrade to the next level of economy, and you get a carry-on and a checked bag and assigned seating. Now, I don't take a checked bag when I travel long distance. I pack in an Osprey pack that's a carry-on, and my clothes rolls up and packs it, and there's a strap that pulls it all real tight. It's almost like compressed in there. You ever had memory foam, like a memory foam mattress, and that shit's compressed until you open it? Yeah, that's how I pack my clothes. So I can pack a lot of stuff and in a carry-on and live out of a carry-on for a long time, like a pack. So I wish I could just get a ticket. Maybe I could just get the regular ticket and see how much it costs to just get a carry-on bag, but I'm sure it's more.
I had a hard time flying just from Tampa to where to go, Scotland, and that was like what, 7 hours or something at one time in the plane.
Yeah, if you're going to,
dude, I was Europe. Like, I just started going numb in places, like there's nowhere to move, and I'm like,
I flew to Seattle. That's the furthest I've flown, and it's like 4 to 5 hours, I think. And by the end of that, I'm like, this is like my limit.
Yeah, at least if you go like British Airways, you get like meals at international movies.
Oh no, they fed me well, but I was just in just a regular seat for.
I'll tell you what,
there's no movement.
If you fly Icelandic Air, not great international.
What?
Not
mine was great.
Well, they've saved all the service for you and not for anybody else. It was terrible.
I flew Icelandic Air. I mean, to Iceland and back, we flew Icelandic Air. You crossed from Iceland to Italy. So did you take Icelandic Air the entire way, or did you have different airline services?
I feel like we did it the whole way. I think we did it the whole way. It was just all right compared to like British Airways or some of the other stuff. It was not very good.
I mean, so when I went to Iceland, that was the only flight that I had. So it was a medium-sized average plane. But anytime I've flown to England or further, so when I flew to Budapest, when I flew to Hungary last year, and when I flew to Italy the time before that, I took British Airways. And the flight from the United States to Europe is always on one of those gigantic planes with like 3 rows deep and everything else, and the lay down beds and all that. Now, my connecting flight from London to Rome was just a regular airplane, and my connecting flight from London to Budapest was just a regular airplane. But that always one that goes over the Atlantic Ocean when you're flying from the U.S. is always the big monster plane. That one's super comfortable.
I could stand all the way up in that thing.
And so when I flew to Budapest, that British Airways actually upgraded my seat for me for free. Is when I got there, my app was basically telling me what my seat was, and it matched my boarding pass. Well, we get to the airport, and my boarding pass, after I get my boarding pass, and my app no longer match. I'm like, why? My app is telling me I'm this seat, and my boarding pass is telling me I'm in this seat. And I go to the desk, and I'm like, look, I don't know what line to get in because this is telling me I'm here, and this is telling me I'm here. She's like, oh, well, you guys got a free upgrade, but if you don't want it, we can give it to somebody. I'm like, oh, no. I'm not complaining. I'm just
free upgrade go together for me.
Oh man, we got in the nice ones that Neo's talking about. Like, and the thing is I think they want to. It's like crack, right? It's like, man, we give it to him once, he's going to pay next time. So it's like they give me the $4,000 seat to Budapest, and I'm just kicked back.
Oh, when you're on one of those flights that are forever long, and you see those people, you're like, you motherfucker. Sorry.
And then this time they actually had me pricing out those seats. I'm like, man, they reeled me in.
Got them.
Go to the airport and throw a fit and see if they'll throw you some miles or some extra tickets just to prep for next year.
Well, man, I'm listening to that. I'm looking. Anybody who's ever been to Japan or whatever, if you're on my IG or my Instagram, man, hit me up in my chat and tell me stuff about Japan. Tell me stuff that I should see. I actually
went there for a month. He flew with 21 family members.
I was just talking to Roth and Taxi because they went to Japan. And so I'm trying to get some feedback from them, but they might have just went and did like the card show thing because they went from Japan.
They probably shared the same seat.
They went from Japan to Hong Kong to China, right?
Yeah, they bounced.
So,
all right, boys. Yeah. Let's shift it back to cards. I've got about 15, 20 minutes. I got kind of a hard stop at the 90-minute mark tonight. It's been a long one. What do we want to talk about hobby wise, since we've talked about all the pop culture and Comic-Con stuff? What are we thinking? Any hot takes? Neo, you want to fire something out there?
I don't really have any. What hot takes do I have?
I don't know. Your video was
most of my hot takes from my video that I dropped this morning.
Yeah, Ham dropped the road rage video.
Ham, you dropped a video
yelling at people for not going fast enough at red lights and stuff. I
totally missed it. What was it about, Ham?
A little bit of everything. Just basically like I'm having trouble finding stuff to buy anymore. It's all the new stuff is just overkill. It's $1 billion of everything. There's nothing to target anymore. Prospecting's out the fucking window now because you're only prospecting for like 3 weeks out of the season. Because
what about some of these baseball players in the play, like the Cal Rileys and some of these guys that
he's already had his spike. I mean, all he can do is create a little more wave. As soon as it's over, it's going to drop, just like everybody else.
That's what I mean. I guess, are you selling off any stuff like that?
I've been selling off sealed Pokemon. I've been selling a bunch of that stuff off.
You don't ever sell that. You just keep it forever.
No, they're just starting to bubble out with some of the stuff right now. So,
hey, let me know what you got, and I
didn't have anything like super crazy. I sold the 151 that I had. That one box. I had one box. That I got lucky and found by accident at Walmart at 9:30 at night. In the clearance section in the electronics aisle. So I held that long enough, and I was like, $450, $500 for that's fine. I can move off of that. But other Shrouded Fables, shit like that really hasn't done anything. And it's not really going to do anything. There's too much other new stuff and other things that are already got more hype around it. That specific product, I think, in Pokemon will not really move a whole lot. It's kind of set in its way, and there are things that surround it that are bigger, that have way more play, especially based off of whichever full art cards are available that are booming. I think in Pokemon, the better option would be is if you can get ahead of some of the full art that hasn't really picked up steam yet. Because that's what everybody pretty much buys anyway in Pokemon. It's just the full art cards. Everything else is just kind of, I play the game or trash. So it just is what it is.
I saw something interesting and I don't know, like I said, I wasn't watching the live stream fully. I kind of turned it on. It was Professor Sports Cards live stream earlier. He was showing the numbers. He was showing grading numbers. And if I'm correct, now mind you, like I said, I wasn't fully immersed in the live stream. I was doing other things. I think he was giving the daily output.
Yeah, I think it was like, yeah, I saw exactly what you were saying.
So it showed 1,000 cards graded for SGC and like 78,000 graded for PSA. And he was saying, PSA is done. SGC is done. They're out of business. PSA didn't buy them to keep them in business, which I agree. I don't think PSA bought them to keep them floating.
Wait, hold on. Dustin has to cry for a couple of minutes and tell you why you're wrong.
But they're not going out of business, but they'll be small. But go ahead, Steve.
No, I started having a thought, and it could be completely way off the mark, and it could probably also, if it is a thought that's going to come true, it's going to take some time. But I was starting to think to myself that if SGC clings on to one thing that they do really good, and we've always said that that's vintage cards. That's always been kind of the thing for SGC. Can there be a day, and there's going to be lots of people in the comments that watch us that are going to say, I already do. It's stupid. I already do. But where a majority of people trust that certain card, I'll just say vintage for sake of conversation, where they trust vintage grades more to a company like SGC, because companies like PSA are constantly hiring, and their grading seems to be getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And it's not killing the value. People don't care. They see that label. That's what they like. They like the grade. They like the 10.
Yeah, but the new kids on the block aren't grading vintage. You have to work there for years before
Yeah,
you
and
grade
SGC
that.
and PSA already pulled SGC graders into PSA.
That may be true, but that's not what people see on the surface. So you can say that, well, the new modern shit is going to their fresh hires, and the really good high-end vintage stuff is going to their experienced graders. You can tell me that all day long, but if you can't show me that, I don't give a shit. Now, if SGC only has a very small, tight core nucleus of people that remain there to work for the company because they don't need a giant staff because they're not grading a lot of cards. However, the one type of card that they become really trusted at and do well at, and people look at them and say, those guys have been doing this for a long time. That's where I trust to send this. I think sometimes when you start to expand and you start to get big, you can almost start to hurt. You definitely hurt your quality because you're more worried about the quantity. So I relate this. There's a really good restaurant here where I live. It's a little small Mexican restaurant. It used to just walk in, used to be like 3 tables and a little bar. It was the best. Okay. People found out about it. It was so good. It was so good. And they were like, man, you had to start getting reservations. You couldn't get in there. And I'm like, wow, this used to be my little place that nobody knew about, a little hole in the wall. Next thing you know, they were buying the place next to it and knocked the wall down to build a dining room. Okay, we can seat 50 more people now. Okay, that's great. Still good. Another summer passes. You can't get in there. So what they do, they buy the store next to them. They knock that wall down. Add another 100 seats. Now, they've built a whole nother restaurant out on the highway in the main area of the beach that's huge. And their food isn't as good as it used to be. Because there wasn't as much care going in. There's not as much care going into it now. Now they need to hire people that can just work there. You know, it's not.
Your problem is going to be is they're going to take those top graders that have been doing it. They might leave one there.
Who?
And then the rest of them they're pulling into PSA. That their goal is to kill SGC. That's their goal. Their goal, the boutique brand. It's going to be the zero brand. Is what
So
it's.
I've already seen more complaints recently about SGC grading like consistently. Like
this hobby's about money right now, not what I like in this
SGC grading inconsistently.
Yeah, like they're not grading the same as they used to be.
Because I see all the complaints about PSA as well. I mean, there's complaints about all the companies, different complaints, same complaints. Everybody complains about them all.
I don't know. It could just be that people are soured on SGC, and all of a sudden the complaints come. You know, when it's riding high, and you know everybody's enjoying the Pete running it or whatever, then it could be that it's great. I don't know. I feel like that could also just be the news affecting too.
Can anybody I can't, so I'm just asking for this for information. Can anybody name a key grader that's been at SGC like maybe since the startup? Can anybody name to me, period, a grader that works for one of these companies that has a really good reputation at being a good card grader? Can you give me that person's name?
No, none of the. I mean, you don't know really, other than like some of the old Beckett guys, like Andy that went from Beckett to CGC. You don't really know who any of the graders are.
Yeah, SGC. I can't remember where I saw an interview. I think it was an SGC piece, but it was from a few years ago.
Okay.
And it was basically like their longest.
The grading companies don't want you to be tied to an individual person. They want you to be tied to the brand. That's why they don't put their graders. Like, how many people even know who PSA's head grader is?
We don't. That's my point.
That's the way that the companies want it. I mean, you don't know who Beckett's head grader is.
Who did Mike?
You don't know it across any of the companies. And my question I originally asked was SGC, not even PSA. So I understand that the companies.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know who SGC's graders are either, even when Pete was there.
But that's like saying I'm going to go to watch a football game and I don't know any of the players. Like I'm going to go to this wrestling match and I don't know who's wrestling. Like you want to see the stars, right? You want to see the stars. I'm just saying, say for instance, and this is not something that's going on, but I'm saying, say for instance, you could sell your product on that. You could sell your product on your staff.
They don't want you to know the staff.
They don't want that though. That's not what they want. They want you to buy the brand, not
I've had people come to the casino that I work at and say, "Hey, I like to come here and played craps because you guys have the best dice game in town, because you guys have the best dice dealers. I can trust them with my money. I can trust them with my payouts. They're going to be accurate. They're going to be fast.
Service
I can play good. Grading cards in customer service?
Nope.
You're full
behind
of shit,
the wall,
Mike.
but behind the curtain. None of these people know these people.
This is what we've been waiting. We're at hour 20 in. We're finally getting some fireworks between him and Steve. Let's go. Ben Burrows asked.
Yes, I do know the people who build my home, and I know the people. I know the people who worked on my pool. I know the people who did my plumbing. I know the people who did my windows. I know the person who paved my driveway. Yes, I do, and I hired them because I knew they did quality work.
Who made your Nikes?
Huh? I don't wear Nikes.
What do you wear?
Huh?
We don't wear shoes. We don't wear shoes.
We don't wear shoes in Delaware, man.
Come on, man. What you think,
yeah, you're grading with the brand, not a person. That's how all the grading companies.
I understand that. I'm not here to say that we're not. The words that just came out of my mouth were people only care about seeing that label and seeing that grade. That's saying that you're selling your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
But not your staff.
Right. But okay, say for instance, do you have a favorite jean company?
No.
Okay, I can tell you my favorite jean company is Lucky Brand Jeans. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of them, but I like Lucky Brand Jeans. And I know Levi's.
But do you only like the ones that Ted makes for you?
No. I like them because they feel more comfortable. I can actually feel them on my body. I can put on a pair of Levi's. I can pull on a pair of Luckies, and I can say, hey, these feel more comfortable to me.
Yeah, they're cut different.
Thanks to Ted.
Yeah, it's all because of Ted.
Like to me, I can feel the quality in it.
Because Ted made them for you.
But when you're looking at a car in a slab, can you feel any kind of quality in it?
No, but you see the red and white label and it makes people feel warm and fuzzy inside.
No, because there's Lucky Brand Jeans are probably made by a machine. Okay.
I think there's a lot of people.
Cars are graded by human, which make error. So now you're talking apples and oranges.
I think there's a lot of guys that do crest their slabs though. So maybe for some they like the comfort of slabs.
I only sleep with one under my pillow, and that's like every other day.
You had to replace Aaron Rodgers.
But like I'm saying is, again, you're also talking about things that are made on an assembly line by machines. How long have we been saying the card should be graded by AI? That way they all have the same, you don't have the human error or you don't have the judgment. It's just another third person opinion.
It's not ready.
I know.
It'll be there eventually.
Yeah, one day, but it ain't ready now.
And, PSA went and changed all their parameters on how to grade a card and started throwing different numbers out there. And the whole hobby got upset for a little while and then said, nothing we can do about it. Move along.
Look, anyway, I wasn't saying how anything is currently or how anything's going to be. What I was trying to do was pitch an idea. It started getting shot down before I even got it out. So what I was saying was that could a company sell like a grading company sell their service based on the knowledge and the experience of their graders?
I think yes.
It's never been tried as a sales pitch. But that's what I'm saying. It's never been tried as a sales pitch. What if they said,
"Hey, do it at scale.
We have so and so. He has this many years in the business, this many experience."
I think in the past we've heard some of that, and you have to be a part of a certain live chat. I have seen people talk about people that I don't know.
Well, I got a question. Who's the dude that puts the little thing on the slab?
Mike Baker.
Mike Baker.
Okay. Why do things that get Mike Baker sticker on them sell for more than cards that don't have it?
Because people are stupid.
Yep.
I mean, but what's their
grading card company?
Whether you think they're stupid or not, what's their mindset going into it?
Well, because he's a master grader. Because I got what you're saying.
They're thinking this guy has a reputation. He has a reputation as a really good grader, which means his opinion is valuable to me. It may not be valuable to Neo, and Neo might think people who have that opinion are stupid. But the fact is that there's people out there who have that opinion, which tells me that you could sell a business motto on the reputation of your employees.
Well, he's got a whole graded card company that's not doing well. So his stickers doing better.
He literally launched his own grading company and nobody cares.
But that's because he's not grading all the cards.
Anything that hurt his
I think he actually is, because they're not grading that many cards.
Okay, they care about him putting the sticker on there. They care about his second, third, fourth opinion.
It's literally the example you just laid out. People like the Mike Baker sticker. He launched his own grading company and no one grades with it.
Yep.
Yeah, but at what extent did he launch his own grading company? I'm talking about a grading company that's already got a reputation.
Well, if they already have a reputation, how all of a sudden can you switch it to being this personalized thing that you're talking about?
Because they're losing business in a way that they could possibly rescue their business. And I'm not saying
Who's
stay
losing
huge.
business?
SGC.
That's because PSA wants them to lose business
on purpose.
Say they weren't owned by PSA,
but they are. That's why they're losing business.
Then I think they would be number 2. If they were not owned by PSA, they would be number 2, flat out.
If somebody bought SGC so PSA was
Turner,
which means they're just going to own the name, and basically the company's not going to be there, and nobody can come back out. Basically, their value is to just basically holding the name so that nobody else can have it, like a copyright. Okay, I get that's how they're going to kill it off. That's how they're going to make it go away.
It won't go away. It's going to still going to be grading cards. It's just not going to be 100,000 cards, 200,000.
I have a great idea for them. If they create like a Louis Vuitton slab, they could get some really good business and charge a lot for it and not have to grade so much.
I mean, I still hear a lot of vintage card collectors that are sending cards to SGC. So and
I know a bunch of the baseball guys from the groups that I watch on here. A lot of them are starting to get really pooped on that idea.
If a lot of people are still sending their vintage stuff to SGC, then it basically plays off of what I just said. It's because they still trust the reputation of SGC with their the graders that are there for now. So what will happen to those graders? What will happen to those people?
They already took all the good ones.
I'm just saying they'll just be thrown into
There's a lot of vintage card collectors that won't send cards to PSA. That's the whole thing. So
they'll just pull these SGC vintage graders that have been doing it for 15, 20 plus years. They'll throw them on the assembly line at PSA, and they'll be grading modern day base prisms tomorrow. Okay, I get it.
They grade their vintage.
You guys summed it all up for me, man. You got it.
No, they bring their vintage. That's all they do.
I think the vintage guys are going to continue to grade vintage. Whether that's
why they bought them. They bought them for the graders. And they have a pre-established grading office in Florida.
Okay, let's spin this onto a successful company like PSA. Okay, whether you like them or you don't like them, they're a successful company. Mm-hmm. What if PSA, a successful company, was like, send us your vintage cards because we have so and so and so grader? You think that they could earn the trust of some of the people who won't let go of SGC? Some more of the old school people, or some of the people who hate PSA?
No, because they're grading 1.5 million cards per month. How can you guarantee those cards are going to go to that particular grader?
I'm not saying a specific person grader, but I'm saying like a certain department.
You just said specific people.
Yeah, within a department.
Yeah, but what's the point of sending it to them unless I know they're the ones that are going to grade?
We don't have one good dice dealer at the casino. We have 30. So I'm not saying you have one great vintage grader, but I'm saying you have guys that have been in the business of being experienced, and this is going to be our vintage grading department.
Yeah, I don't know.
They already have that.
I think SGC is going to still be vintage. They're going to grade vintage. I think it's a lot of the same guys grading vintage cards. I don't think that's going to change. I know Neo thinks that like the entire grading team is going to move to PSA and they're going to completely shut down that brand. I just don't think that that's the case. That's where we disagree.
JRT, I wish it was Roid Rage, man. Where can I get some?
We're not quite old enough, but maybe we'll get there.
At almost 50 years old, man, I've been going to the gym like every day straight for like a year. It's hard.
All right, boys. We are 90 minutes in, and I've got to get up early again tomorrow. So any last words, any final thoughts? We beat the grading debate to death. Steve, but I appreciate you coming in hard there in the last 15 minutes. We were going back and forth.
Livening this shit up. Hey, I was just putting out a hypothetical out there, man. Like,
yeah, I like it.
Like a what if.
Good. It was good. All right, Ham, last word.
Cheetos.
Buy Labubu's. That's what Ham's saying.
Tomorrow, EQL Labubu. You win it, sell it ASAP.
Is that with the Topps Chromes? Oh, God.
Get ready. Get lined up right now. Go sit in front
what do we think the superfractor is going to sell for? The main base superfractor.
Is it over 10,000, more or less?
Who's the main
way more.
Who's the main
Way more?
Way more,
I don't
and
even know who the
it'll
main
be
ones
an
are, but
international buyer that buys it.
There'll be some dumb sales
Who was
prices
the main
on that product.
Labubu?
I wonder how they'll run breaks of it. I can't wait to see the breakers try to sell breaks of this.
They're going to butcher these
man.
names.
It's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know that.
Well, and the art cards will probably go for
I got a
$1,000
question,
because
Neo.
they're drawn by the original guy.
Was there V Friends at Comic-Con?
Yeah, their booth was there.
Okay, I thought I saw somebody with something from V Friends, but I didn't see. I
walked past it at one point in time. I didn't see Gary Vee there. I mean, I'm sure he probably was because they're based in New York. Because Gary Vee's office is like in Hudson Yards. I'm pretty sure. So it's like across the street from the convention center.
We entered the showroom floor the second day from the other side, and I thought we were in a different room. I was like, oh, we're on a different floor right now. We're going to see some new stuff. It ended up being the same room. It was just so big with so much more, the corporate end of it.
That building's massive.
But it was a lot of like Japanese stuff. I didn't know a lot of it.
Javits Center is probably one of the best convention centers I've ever been in.
It was huge. There was lots to eat. And the food truck outside with the steak sirloin bowl, man, it was banging.
I like food.
All right, boys. Until next time, 2 weeks from now, we'll be back with another Off-Centered.
I'll be able to watch a Cavs game. Yeah, baby.
Neo will be back to regular season Cavs.
Is that a Cavs North Face zip up? It looked like it. You gotta see
it is the wine colors, but no.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time.
See you.
Have a good night.
See ya.